Hello and welcome to this little watch along with me and Control AI Delete, our full-length comedy feature film which is currently on Kickstarter, and I thought it might be nice to just watch the 4-minute promo, which you can see without me interrupting, on the Kickstarter currently, and tell you a little bit about how we put the promo together, how we shot the cinematic sequences, and how that might impact on what the film is going to look like if we're lucky enough to get funded. All right, let's do this. Okay, so straight away, the cinematic sequence starts outside an arcade in Newquay. This is representative of the actual location for the movie, which is Skeg Vegas, or Skegness. More on that in a minute. We hired this arcade for a day and an evening. It took us all day to light it. Our director of photography did an amazing job lighting that beautiful blue and red hue that you can see, that really distinctively 80s look that it's got. It's also down to the lens choice. We used what's called an anamorphic lens, which is a really 80s lens, very popular with directors of films like Blade Runner, Die Hard, that sort of thing, and a whole host of other movies from that period. And that's partly why it looks like it does, because the movie is set in the present day, but we want it to have a very 80s aesthetic. Okay, so some shots of my colleagues from the Gadget Show, some backstage stuff when we were setting up the environment to shoot in, various gaming expos I've been to. But what we'll be featuring in the film is this backdrop, which is the artist's studio of a local Newquay artist who kind of mixes fine art and street art, and that's why the environment looks like that, with lots of, well, what would you call it, like graffiti spray on the walls. This is a shot of Josh, our lead actor, which really does show off the anamorphic lens, and also a technique that you'll see how we did in a minute, where we shot as if we were inside the arcade machine looking out at his face. Okay, so I chucked some of my consoles, that's a Vectrex, into the environment for shooting. Okay, so this is the emblem of the movie, the poster icon, and a symbol of the resistance against the AI. A time of civil unrest when an AI is rolled out globally. People are up in arms against the power cuts, outages, blackouts. Okay, so I wrote the movie with one of my oldest friends, Mark, who's also a stand-up comedian and a ventriloquist, which is why he keeps messing about in the interview. You can also see my N64 in the background there on a beautiful Sony CRT TV. This prop is interesting. It's a newspaper that I kind of got a bit carried away with. You'll notice that the entire newspaper, front and back, features actual editorial that I wrote, as if, you know, we had a global news story about an AI. So there you go, man marries chatbot, bottom right. Most people probably don't notice that, but you've had that opportunity. So yeah, chaos on the streets, and within this chaos, our retro gaming buddies, safely ensconced in their expo in Skegness, realise that in the 80s and 90s gaming computers and consoles that they've got in the halls, they might just have the only solution to hack the AI and win the day. Now, I've got to tell you about this shot. The movie, as I think I've said, is set in Skegness, where I grew up. I grew up just down the road from Skeggy, but I used to go there all the time, even worked at Butlins at Skegness for one summer. Really, the movie is a love letter to traditional British seaside towns, and I think it's going to be really interesting to try and shoot there and make it such a big part of the narrative. Our director is an old friend of mine called Elizabeth, who went off to LA to seek her fortune and became a movie director, which is rather handy. That's actually a close-up of the script right there. And I shot Elizabeth's interview when she was over in the UK for just a couple of weeks, and I grabbed like 3 hours with her at Twickenham Film Studios. And that's the crew dog. So Josh, our lead actor, I met him in a car park in Newquay, totally random, told him about the movie, and he was instantly on board within sort of 24 hours having read the script. He really wanted to do it, rather trained, and he's turned out to be an absolute superstar. Well up, of course, for using the Sinclair C5. I don't know if you saw it, but it shot through frame just then, and the light was split. That's the anamorphic lens again doing its thing. This is more of the backdrop, the kind of civil unrest. Obviously, there'll be more people when we shoot it for real. But we just had 3 mates to put on masks and look menacing. You know, if we'd ordered that mist off the back of a lorry on a Hollywood film lot, it would have cost us a fortune. That's just the sea mist. It happened to come in that night, and it looks absolutely beautiful on the end of the lens. More of the graffiti in the artist's studio where we filmed the interviews with our cast and crew, and more footage of my own collection of retro arcade retro consoles and footage from arcades that I'm a huge fan of. This is our director of photography, Sam. So he's responsible for the look of the movie. You'll see how we shot that frame of Josh's face from inside the arcade machine. If I just pause it there, literally that's how we did it. That is actually the glass out of one of my wedding photographs that I ran home, grabbed, brought down. We actually ended up putting it in on a tripod rather than me holding it. There's our fictional arcade machine, Star Dash, there. The artwork for which, the marquee as it's called, has also been designed. And this is the shot I was talking about there, as the camera closes into his face, which is, I think, really, really meaningful. Now, Utah Saints are going to be curating the music for this movie. Again, it's another friend of mine. I used to hang out with DJ Tim when we were both at school in the 80s. I contacted him, and both of Utah's said that they're up for doing the music. They're going to curate the score for the music to the movie, which is really exciting to have a kind of 90s dance duo legend doing the music. I think is a huge win for us. This movie is not going to happen without your help. It's a grassroots project. We are currently, as I make this video, we haven't reached our target yet. We need you to help us get there. And if we do, we promise you we'll make something really unique, something that is uniquely 80s and 90s, a real underdog story that I'm just confident you're going to absolutely love. So if you want to help us out, we've got some great rewards, some great merch. You can be in the movie. You can get your name up on the high score honor roll of Star Dash, our fictional arcade machine. You can buy t-shirts, whatever. There's loads of ways that you can get involved, and the easiest way to do that is to go to controlaidelete.net and join us. Thank you.